All right, now the National Film Authority has called on Ghanaians to suggest a name for the Ghana film industry. Now, the National Film Authority has called on Ghanaians to suggest a name for the film industry of the country, with names including Kumawood, Gollywood, Gollywood, and several others already flying around. The authority, set up by government to streamline activities of the industry, has reached out to the public to make inputs. Now, according to the National Film Authority, the suggested names must be as original as possible and must possess some traits including identity, spirit, energy, and unity. Well, of course, it mentions God as well. Now, the authority proposes to acknowledge any individual whose suggestion is settled on. Now, the leadership of the National Film Authority, inaugurated in December 2019 and chaired by ace Ghanaian actor David Donto, is tasked with the responsibility of ensuring an economically self-sustaining and culturally conscious film industry. And it also advises the sector minister on matters concerning the industry, facilitate the establishment of a circuit for the distribution and marketing of Ghanaian films both in and outside the country. Well, on the line right now, we have Madam Juliet Yasantua Asante, the Executive Secretary of the National Film Authority of Ghana. Thank you for joining us, Madam Juliet Yasantua Asante.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. I trust you're well.
I'm very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Right. So, kindly give us a little more insight, though, you know, it is very clear. Why this decision? Why your body wouldn't do this work, but call on Ghanaians to do that?
When you say this work, I'm assuming you're speaking about name, the name, suggestions, the names.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a Ghanaian, and I'm sure that you feel attached to a Ghanaian film when you see one. And so, if we're looking for a name that identifies us, we all know the importance of a name in Ghana. We know the importance of a name. When you're born, the day you're born, you're giving a name. A name is what identifies you, is what you listen, you respond to. A name is what is your identity. And so for us, we feel that this is something that is important because we need to be identified on the global stage as well as internally. We need something that calls to our cultural values and values as a people. Over the past, we've all followed, kind of just gone along what the international platforms or the international sectors, industries have done. So you have Hollywood, you have Bollywood, you have Nollywood, you have all of those things. The question to ask is that the identity we want? And if it's the identity we want, is it inclusive of our divergent views and what we feel should identify us? So there are many implications to a name, including and all of that. So, for instance, some of our partners, when I say partners, I mean country partners, distributors, all of those have reached out to us and said that, what do you want to be identified as? Because if you go, for instance, on Netflix at the moment, just as an example,
right,
you'll notice that most Ghanaian films are classified as Nollywood. Mm-hmm. We are not Nollywood. And that has its own implications with branding, with sales, with so many aspects that we can't go into this morning.
Right.
And so for us, it is to address all of that. But we don't want to sit in our corner and come up with a name that we want to force everybody to come along with. We want this to be an inclusive process, and that's why we threw it out. And it's been interesting, some of the submissions that we've been getting so far.
Right. So thank you very much for that insight. I want us to go a little, back to Hollywood. Hollywood was coined by a gentleman known as H.J. Whitley, the father of Hollywood. And just trying to get into...
We all know how Hollywood came. I mean, Hollywood... was even named after a certain tree, there was a lot of those trees around and they used it and then they kind of came up with a name. They were fleeing from New York at that time. Independent filmmakers being from New York, and they found LA to be a great place because of the weather and all of that. And then the name came up. But it's something that came out of their own struggle, their own journey, their own, they identified with it. And the rest of the world has simply just gone along without understanding even the basis of the name Hollywood that we use today.
Well, definitely. Now, I'd like to know from you how easy or difficult this exercise stems to be, because I'm wondering how many entries you're going to get and what will be the rationale behind choosing a name to say this is it.
So, first of all, the important thing is for Ghanaians to identify with the process, yes? Because when I make a film as a filmmaker, it's not about me, it's about my audience, it's about my constituency. And every Ghanaian filmmaker comes from Ghana, and so Ghana is their first constituency, if you like, the first audience. And it's important that as filmmakers, we bring the audience along with us. We bring Ghanaian filmmakers, Ghanaians along with us. And as a NFA, as an authority, we have a strategy that we are following. The strategy is to work to situate Ghana as a film hub. And as part of that strategy, you can break it down into two. One is going out there and getting the international world to notice us and bringing more film projects here and all of that. And so doing the things that we need to attract the international community. But we all know that as even in our local palace, if you're going to welcome a visitor, you have to prepare your own home. And so even as we are going out and trying to situate Ghana and make Ghana attractive, we need to bring the Ghanaian profile up to meet that international standard.
Right.
And part of that also is appealing to our audience again. We just launched another project called the Pitch Series, which is ongoing, and we are about to announce 25 films that are going to be supported by the authority. And as part of that, the conversation we've been having is that we've lost our audience. Ghanaians are no longer extremely excited about the Ghanaian film sector. I mean, one can blame this or that. This is not a blame game. But we need to go back to making the Ghanaian feel proud of the sector, because the sector is representative of the Ghanaian. The sector tells our culture, it tells who we are, it tells our stories. I can go on and on and on. So part of the process is not just coming up with a name and shoving it down the throats of Ghanaians. I think there's something to be said for trying to bring Ghanaians along on that journey. And that's what we are trying to do. Eventually, we would narrow down. The suggestions are coming in. As you rightly said, many suggestions are coming in. The important thing at this stage is for inclusiveness and for capturing the diversity that we represent as a people. From that level, we would narrow down and then ask people to kind of come again and help us until we all get to a name that we are all proud of as Ghanaians, and then also as filmmakers, and that is very representative of who we are as a people and where we want to go to.
Great job so far, Madam Juliet Yasantua. Now, I'd like to find out from you, are you privy to some of the entries that have come? Can you share some of the interesting names probably that have been received so far?
At this stage, well, obviously, as the head of NFA, I'm privy to the names that come in. But I don't think we are not at the stage yet where we are sharing. But if you go online, I think you can even see some of the names that are popping up online. So many interesting names, and I think this as well has gotten Ghanaians excited about the process, the part of it, and people are being imaginative. We are asking people to be, original and not necessarily go with the woo thing, but be original of what represents us as a people, what calls to your spirit. We know as Ghanaians that a name is not just a name, and we are asking people to approach the process with the same seriousness you would approach naming your child, because really the Ghanaian film industry is the child of Ghanaians, and we need to take interest. And I think if you go online, you see some pretty interesting names popping up. Right.
So online, I guess you want to tell us exactly what portal this exercise is conducted on.
Well, when I say online, I mean people, even though we've put the link online for people to follow the link and send in their nominations, people are still sharing their thoughts online. So that's what I mean by online.
Right.
But
So
if
what?
you go to
Yes.
the NFA social media page, if you go to our website, www.nfa.gov.gh, I encourage everyone to go to the website. You would see the link there as well. If you go to our social media pages, if you look for National Film Authority, it will pop up on Facebook and on Instagram. The link is there. So we encourage everyone that in as much as it's fun and all that, sharing, your thoughts on social media, for it to be captured in the system. And so far, we have over 100 names suggested into the system, and that's great. We encourage everyone to follow the link. It's a Google form. And so, it's meant to be very transparent and very easy and user-friendly. Basically, you just follow the link, put in the name, and tell us why, because we want to understand the thought processes of people. And so, yes, the link is on our social media pages, and it's also on our website.
Right. Thanks very, very much for joining us on the Daybreak Hit Show, and we wish you all the best. We're all going to be part of this process. But a school of thought has it that, this exercise has been long overdue. Do you share in that?
I agree. I mean, there's the school of argument that argues that that we should allow things to, open themselves up. So we should allow the name to come naturally and organically. I mean, we've been as a sector, we've been around since independence, and there have been names there and here and there that have come up with all sorts of emotional attachments. I think bottom line is that people haven't felt that it's been an inclusive process. And this is meant to bring that inclusive process. So even if we go back to a name that is already there, we can be sure that the process has been inclusive, and that's what we are trying to do. So yes, I think this is long overdue. Definitely quite a number of our partners have reached out to us categorically and said to us that we are coming up with a channel that is exclusive to Ghana. If you don't give us a name, we would either use Nollywood or we use some other name that you may not be happy with. So there are some people that say that, why are we doing this? These are some of the reasons why we need to do this. We are in a global environment, and if we are looking to grow, there are some things we need to do, and we need to be more, what's the word? I'm looking for the word, to be more definite about, and we can't just leave for it to happen by itself. And so we are, as an authority, we are committed to putting in the structures that the sector needs. And these are some of the things. It may sound that it is easy or this is something that we shouldn't be focusing on now. But if a child is born, why do you name the child very early? Why don't you wait till the child is an adult before you give the adult a name? But you give the child a name just days after birth, because there's something to a name. And so I think it's important that we've come around to this process, never too late, and that we are taking the time to do so now.
Thank you very much. Taking the time to do that now. Please be part of this process. That was Madam Juliet. Yes, Madam Juliet, thanks very much for joining us on Hitz 103.9.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right, so that's about the National Film Authority, which has called on Ghanaians to suggest a name for the film industry of the country. Now, with names including Kumawood, Gollywood, Gollywood, and all of that, the question is, what is Ghana going to settle on when it comes to a name for the film industry? Well, I've been joined in the studio by Kumi Man, my man Kumi, and of course, Prince Don Chega, the Dawn of Doors. And this is a pressure day. Yeah. Right. So, what are your thoughts on this, Kumi Man? Do you think this is necessary?
Yes, it is. I like the part that you asked the question as to whether it is long overdue or not, and she accepted that. Yes, we should have done that, but it's better late than never. So it's a step in the right direction, and the fact that they are calling people to also come with their ideas, it brings that sense of inclusion, that sense of belonging, so that when it comes out, it wouldn't be Like some people were, some few people decided to force a name on the neck of the industry and all these kind of things. But once we've all joined, we've all come with our ideas, definitely, we'll feel part of the whole process, and it will give us that sense of willingness to also contribute to the development of the industry. I remember when Gollywood came, some people said that, oh, Gollywood, why the wood? Why should we add the wood? Because she was saying that...
because we look up to Hollywood. Maybe.
But Hollywood has a history.
Yes. And so Gollywood also has a history.
What is the history?
The history is we took it from Hollywood. What is the history
for adding the wood to our industry?
Right.
Then Kumawood also came. Later, we got to know that Kumawood was somebody's private...
organization,
movie firm. Then all these things have come up, but I think that is a step in the right direction. Because once people are coming out with ideas, who knows, maybe the best may pop up and we will end up choosing something that befits our industry.
Right.
Because whether we like it or not, your name is your identity. So as a people, we have our cultural values, we have our social, moral values, and all these things. And all these things should be captured in the name, so that when you mention the name, somebody can confidently say, this name comes from Ghana. Just as when we mention Nollywood, we know it comes from Nigeria. When you mention Bollywood, we know it comes from India. And now India, they also have Pollywood, the Punjabi province. They've also come out with their own something.
Right.
So we should find a name, just as you would name your child meaningfully.
Yeah.
Not just because you have to name your child, but it should have a meaning. And in our part of the world, we believe that names have impact on people or its bearers. So we shouldn't rush in placing a name on the industry, but just as we are doing, when people come out with the ideas, let's see it. The best may come out, and definitely we'll have a befitting name that will help the industry grow. So I would say that they are doing well.
Awesome. It's great we have in the place Prince Don Chega. He has a great background when it comes to, film in this country. He has served on the board of the Ghana Movie Awards, which is owned by Fred Nuama. Now, before we move to you, the Don, what name would you suggest, Kubiman?
I would suggest something like Ghana Man Films. Yeah.
Ghana Man Films.
Yeah, that is if it is not registered by anybody. But the wood.
Then what happens to the woman? Ghana Man.
No, but when we say man in the Bible, God created man. When we say man, man represents both male and female.
All right.
Or Ghana Woman Films.
Ghana Man Films.
It's a very laudable idea. Good morning to you, listeners. It's a very laudable idea, and for me, it's a good thing, but I can foresee chaos.
Chaos?
In choosing this name.
Why?
Okay. The way we think, everybody wants to pull something to his or her end. That's how we think naturally. Even the film village, situating the film village, you see the chaos that came. Hey, you are taking it here. It's because of this. You are doing this. You are doing that. It's for that chim. We want this. We want that. That is the Ghanaian for you. Give the Ghanaian chance at democracy, and he makes a mess out of himself. Because we feel we know. Everybody wants to bring his idea to the table. Everybody wants the idea to be accepted. Nobody is willing to, get somebody to actually accept what he or she is saying. Actually, there's a whole lot of confusion around. So, Mekri, we need to find out the modality. It's very important for working this out. And the choice, who's going to choose? Is it the board?
Right.
I don't know. The idea sounds good, though, but
the execution.
Mekri.
That could be the problem.
That is always the problem. Ideas are normally very good.
It sounds good.
Yes, on paper. But when you start executing,
when the mechanics start, dropping. You are
dealing with a human institution. But when it's on paper, you are dealing with a paper institution. But when it goes into the human free, it becomes something entirely different. And I believe definitely politics will set in, depending on the government that is in power. Trust me. Politics
I don't know, but I think
politics
that this
will definitely set in.
Shouldn't be politicized.
Oh, they will politicize it.
Why should we?
Oh, that is our nature. By our nature, we like to politicize everything. Everything in this country is politicized. Sadiq is one of the chief, main men in the entertainment industry who would agree with me that, I don't know, but the way we think, we attach politics to everything. Even American elections, we're attaching Ghanaian politics to.
When you say politics, it doesn't mean party politics, because even in the industry there's politics.
Is that what you're talking about? Or partisan politics?
Broad politics. And so, Mekri, for me, that is the whole issue. Imagine they go and choose a name that sounds like akin to the Ashantis, because they will say that they are holding down the local.
That's the point that he's coming.
Yes, the local film industry, they are holding it down. Yeah. They believe that the film lives in the Ashanti region. That was one of the arguments canvas for the film village. Yes.
Then confusion sets in.
Yes, of course. Then what about the Northerners? Yeah. What about the Volta people? What about the other tribes? Are they left out?
If it's tree, then
it's not going to be a joke.
So I think
a very sticky situation.
Very. So that's what I was asking. I don't know what the modalities are, but Sadiq, do you think this is a great idea, an okay idea?
Honestly, I don't know what to make of it.
Or bad idea?
No. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. The thing is that, and I need to put it on caveat, I'm Juliet biased as well, so sometimes it's difficult.
But don't be biased on
but
this
the point
issue.
I'm saying is, the more reason why I don't know what to make of it, it's also that if you realize other industries that have taken any name whatsoever came from the proliferation of like the film. The film environment had become a bit more stronger. We're producing more movies, and then they pick up a name and then they ran with that. But there were things that was in place, And Don is right when he says that these issues could be politicized. He's not talking about, say, partisan politics per se, but he's probably referring to industrial politics. We know the issues that came about with the siting of the film village. Even in Kumasi, when it was finally agreed that the film village is going to be taken to the Ashanti region, was taken to the Ashanti region. There was a whole Kunsu, Setre, back and forth, and there's a stalemate on the matter. I see that mindset behind this is a very good one. And the whole idea of, okay, this is a new National Film Authority that's trying to chart a path. And so because of that, let's get everybody along the journey, along the dream and all of those things and stuff like that. If I had my way, it would be different. Different within the sense of the fact that I happen to know some of the challenges the film industry has. For instance, the film industry doesn't have the film authority doesn't have an office. They have not been properly resourced. There's supposed to be a film fund that's supposed to be, an ally pursued to establish a film fund and all of that. Regardless of all these things, you could see Juliet and her board members are trying. I've seen how they organize their pitch series, for instance, try to, tap into relationships with DSTV and all of that. I've seen the things that she's been trying to push and pull. And I see that this is one of those things that she probably feels that the team feels that will be a low-hanging fruit in terms of how to get and rally around the country behind the National Film Authority. But this could be, like Don is saying, could be fraught with certain things. But they also, knowing or having observed Juliet for some time, she's not one to be bothered by a lot of these issues, because the question she'll be asking is, okay, so what? Because people will have a conversation or talk, so what do we do? But if you look at it as well, there are certain film industries that have a very stronger film regulatory environment. The funding sources is well established, but do not have a name. South Africa. South Africa has a tagline, Cinema of South Africa, which essentially, what the branding is supposed to do is, apart from giving you identity, it's also supposed to capture the essence of the industry, which is one of the things that I see that the NFA is trying to do. But then again, internally, that could be a tagline that could inform, like more or less like a policy tagline internally that would inform the activities and the things they do. So i.e., like she said, she wants Ghana to be a hub of the film industry. But when the people are coming to your country, what is there? Are there tax rebates? Do you have the necessary tax regimes to be able to ensure that when they come in, they will get all the necessary financial support or anything? Again, just like South Africa and all of these countries that have become a strong film location or film hub without necessarily having a bigger name like Nollywood, they've been able to do that. However, she's also raising some very realistic points where, because of the strength of Nollywood, also because of the identity and their branding and because they are loud out there, is pushing a lot of the people that ordinarily will do business in this country to set up hub offices there. So Netflix has a hub office there. Now, even if you have a filmmaker in Ghana, you're having to go through an aggregator that sits in Nigeria and all of that. We don't have the direct aggregators here. So I'm sure that she's also looking at it from a very practical point. DSTV is launching a Ghanaian channel, for instance. Part of what they are trying to do is to push about 90 to 80% Ghanaian content on that channel as much as possible, if not 100. And I'm sure she's thinking that in their programming and all of those things, in the movies that they'll put there and all of that, they don't want a station where they say if they want to do a Nollywood top 5 or whatever, they want to be able to have something that everybody rallies around. So where she said, she comes across, that's why I say that I don't know what to make of it. I'm thinking about it across different lines. You know, I'm trying to understand her challenges that she's had at the NFA thus far. And I'm also thinking about how you can rally around and bring in the country behind you. And then obviously issues about identity like the DSTV angle, like the whole Netflix angle where you would want a certain brand resonating effect.
Right.
You know, but I mean, she sits in the hot seat. So I'm sure she said that they have a strategic decision. So, I mean, let's see how it goes.
During my
the intention is good.
Right. Thank you, Sadiq. Well, during my conversation with her...
But I think the timing is wrong.
Yeah, between now and December.
This time in the...
No, but her role is... She's there till... the next president.
No, I know.
It's part of the work.
Yeah, but
so
the mood of the nation right now, this matter.
It's not movie.
No, I'm sure
it's not film mood.
Because the creative industry. But the point is that she's working. So if they are working, they will try to abuse about. But I mean, you raise a very good point.
I know you are.
She raised the point. She raised the point which was probably a bit confusing. I made reference to Hollywood, which was coined by Whitley. You know, AJ Whitley. Yeah. So she told me after I mentioned that
because
there was a story
that was common in the area.
Yes,
cauliflower.
Exactly. So you know, she actually helped us with the story. Now, my question is, if there's a story behind that, what's going to be the rationale now that people are throwing in names?
No, but that's what she said. I think I heard her saying that the people are supposed to provide like a story or a synopsis behind the names they suggest.
Yeah, it shouldn't be just a name, but the name should have a reason, something to support it. But me, what I'm looking at is beyond having the name. You were saying something about what are the things we are putting in place to make it more attractive,
like a film hub, yes,
you know, more operational. Yes, you have the name, but if the quality of the movies you're churning out do not meet the international standard. Now, if you have a mobile phone, you have a channel.
Yeah.
So the competition is broader and bigger, you know, more keen.
I mean, it's become very important that the funding sources is established. It's become very important that the tax rebate element is established. It's become very important that even the things that makes the cost blows up, if it's technical equipment and people are bringing it in, I mean, what kind of statutory payment regime do you have so that when they are bringing in certain specific equipment, because they are coming to produce movies, they get a certain rebate, for instance, or, I mean, some off-takers on it or something. I mean, you know, I don't want to preempt some of these things that they are doing, but I could see from a close, when I look at it, some of the challenges they are. Like I said to you, they don't even have in the office and the resources, but I get it that she's so determined that they are moving regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless of all of this, it's just like, look, I mean, I don't want to wait for the government to come through. They are delaying. What do I do? I'm in the power. I'm in the seat. I need to move regardless. And so you're seeing
things must happen.
Yeah, you're seeing that they're doing a lot of things here and there to be able to at least move, make some progress. Regardless, you don't know when you strike gold.
We call it magic and abracadabra.
Yeah, you don't know where you strike gold. But, I mean... Clearly, when you look at one of the biggest issues in the local film industry, boils down to funding. We don't see that much.
Right. I'm curious. It boils down to. I'm curious. I don't know what is going through your mind, Sadiq the Don. A name. Does a name come to mind, and what would be the reason for the name?
Confusion comes to my mind.
You see that? Well,
Confusion comes to my mind. I'm being very honest here.
I wish they would have like an internal tagline internally.
Okay.
Which will inform the things they will do. So if for instance,
a direction.
Give us an idea.
Yeah.
So internally, if you say if there's a tagline that captures the future, the fact that you want to make Ghana a film hub, or you want to within the next 5 to 10 years produce quality movies from Ghana, at least 30 movies every year from Ghana. You want to ensure that you enhance the cinema going culture, or you actually even establish cinemas and all of those things. It should be linked to the future, because if you're so caught up in this, the intention is good, like I said. So
you suggest they set a theme for the name
internally, a theme that would drive, because Charlie, you could, this naming thing, we could be so locked up on this
for the next 5 years,
Charlie.
For the next 5 years, I'm telling you.
Just trying to settle on the name.
And the film industry,
maybe even 10.
Charlie, you know the different associations in the film industry alone. The associations.
I get where you are coming from.
There's a 5-pack.
Confusion.
Right? There's 5-pack. There's Actors Guild. There's the one Hitz. There's Directors Guild. They have Judges Improvement Group in Gramazine.
They have women in film, women in acting,
there's women in film,
in this, men in that.
When you go to 5-pack, when you go to, they have the crew, and then the Richard group, and then crew, and then Association of Ghana. You know, there's a whole lot, and even at certain point in time, about you when you move the thing away and go to Kumasi here, just within Kumasi, small, like the circle alone, there are about 3 or 4 interest groups on even the siting of the film village. So it's a problem. So the point is that when you foresee,
and external politics will come in.
Yeah.
The external
so when you
politics mean party politics.
Yes.
Yeah.
And internal politics like you are message you this person.
But most of the film industry's problems, most of their problems has always been internal politics. Often from the outside, it's an internal politics. Often you see the various groups or the individuals, like the recent issue on the film village.
Let's even talk about a very practical matter. The body governing producers in Ghana now, 5-pack. Right now, they divide it into 2 boards there.
2 or 3.
Board.
One organization. All of them, they rally behind Mr. Boji.
Bro, I said the board be 2.
One organization, 2 boards.
Oh, you don't know.
No, me have to say
this
section
day, this guy is the my section day. The my section day.
You talk that Accra Kumasi.
No, there's some politicking on the board now as we speak. The film board.
Whoa. No, you mean the NFA or the 5-pack?
5-pack.
Okay.
So there's a board and there's a shadow board.
No, so I'm talking about even the most greatest affiliates that the NFA would work with.
Or there are divisions within the board. Is that what you mean?
No, in fact, yeah, of course.
I understand what you mean by the confusion.
No, 5-pack.
Yeah, I'm talking about 5-pack.
Okay.
5-pack. Yeah. And they will be liaising directly with the film. Like they should lead some of these things.
So, and I'm saying that too, that look, the biggest issues they have, if they were so busy with the funding element and producing and moving in and looking to tap into the new distribution channels that have come and all of those things, these things will happen over time. But in a space where they are not producing more movies now because the distribution lines have blurred and some of them do not know how to go around it and they don't know whether to produce movies and everything, and they're holding on to the title of I'm a producer of this, I'm a CEO of whatever films or productions, and because of that I'm sitting in 5-pack, I'm sitting in this and everything. That's when some of these things will set in. But their biggest issues, funding. I mean, their biggest issues, and there are ways to go around the funding. There are different models across the world that you can pursue the funding. I've seen that they've launched the Peace Series, which is to try to tap into the private sector and the support from the private sector, because beyond, if the state funding isn't available, we understand that the likes of DSTV are looking to make investment into the country in terms of local content productions and all of those things. But even DSTV is knocked down by expensive corporate taxes. So if there's an overarching plan, like I said to you, to say that, okay, anybody that's looking to make a certain investment in this particular area is going to be given a certain tax rebate that frees them up to invest more into the space for film and television and all of those things. It could be a way of making sure that this, but I get it that I understand some of these things, the discussions have been had and it's in the works. The intention behind carrying everybody along the journey of the NFA's objective in making Ghana a film hub and grow a proper film industry in the country, provide a solid regulatory framework and all of that. It's a good one. Often, like Don and everybody's saying, the executions, because of the varying interest groups, is always some way. So why don't you rise above them and do what's necessary, and then move and begin to, because I mean it would do it. It's like a media industry.
That is what I was,
media industry.
That is what I was saying. That
You see, when it comes to conflict,
once more than a person has to choose, and they all have their preferences, definitely there will be conflict. But we should find a way to resolve the conflict so that it wouldn't retard what we all believe in. Like what we are talking about, Kumasi. Now we don't even know where the direction is getting to, because somebody believes that, okay, I like this place, so that should be the preferred choice. Another person comes in, you know, if you don't choose mine and you choose this other one.
Somebody feels that so if me, I say that this village should go to here, should be fine. I'm buying also.
Yeah.
I'm buying also. That's the language. I'm buying also.
Oh, Charlie. But I mean, let's see what comes out of it. I mean, we give them the support, but we'll highlight all the problems that could forestall it. But the most important thing is try to sort out the funding, the proper regulatory framework, and then increase a lot more of the training. You know, if for instance the NFA is having a partnership with the NAFTI or the new NAFTI that's coming to say let's do that open education kind of a thing, because there are filmmakers today who are confused. They don't know, okay, if I produce me coin, because they were stuck with the CD culture. The CD has gone. So it's thinking, me produce the coin, me go to YouTube. How do I make more money from the YouTube? Or me go to Netflix. How do I meet the quality requirement for Netflix? You know, so all of the, or me go to Amazon Video Prime. How do I meet all of that? How do I tap into all of these things? They are there. The last time what we heard was that they're organizing prayer. When the issue is head on, you prayer, no. You know, so, and I was having the conversation with Mr. Abuaji on the sidelines of the debate that we had, for instance, when I told him that in the past, there was a tendency to misdiagnose the problem. Like John is saying, also because of politics. So when you misdiagnose the problem, it doesn't help you in really identifying it. Because at the time where they blamed certain things for the collapse of the film industry per se, what if they had diagnosed it probably very well, they would have realized that they were just going through a transitional phase and they were being hit for different sources and they were not ready for it. They are not ready to, they didn't foresee that, okay, there was going to be a point where the CD sales they were going to wake up one day and it would sharply drop like 74%, because that was the rate it was going. CD sales across was dropping at a rate of about 74%. So because they were not ready and there was that transitional phase of you know, you produce the movie doesn't go, and then you misdiagnose the problem, point you to something else, which is not the case, and then at another time, you know, so it's a whole lot.
The problem is long gone.
But the establishment or pointing of the board is good. I'm saying that if you allow them to where they're giving a certain sense of direction to industry.
Right.
Whether, you know,
so we should all support.
Yeah, I mean, we're
all concerned about the industry. Let's all put in.
We are, and our listeners are concerned as well. And names have actually started, you know, tripping in. This one says, I suggest Kente movies. Charlie, you for start the vote. Jonathan from Spintex Road.
I'm coming on Kente movies. Yeah. Where does Kente come from?
It comes from both.
The confusion.
They don't.
To your confusion, this way it
starts. Kente goes plenty places. Look, even the north. The fugu. How do you call it? Weaving. How do you say the tree? Yeah, that's the way. So even the fugu. Okay. So from about 3 major places, the entirety of the north come to Bonwe, come to Anglong. Even the Nzimas have a different kind of.
Do we weave Kente in Accra?
No.
Yes or no?
Yeah, but it's not traditionally. It's not okay. So that you see the angle see the
Charlie, there's lockdown in Italy, but there is lockdown in Italy, but it hasn't stopped Francis from suggesting a name for this, and he says the name should be Golden Box.
Francis, is it Francis Oforiata?
It's just Francis I have here.
Oh, okay.
Since the name should be Golden Box, but it sounds
Golden Box. What box?
Movie box.
Why box?
The movie will go put for box inside.
Golden Box.
How does that sound?
Golden Box.
Golden Box.
Hold on for more names,
Now we have Kente movies. We have Golden Box.
More names, Imra.
I think Kente wouldn't be bad.
Golden Box.
Unfortunately, Kente doesn't.
What's the story behind Golden Box?
Box of gold.
Golden movies. Good cruise movies.
If you are hearing a sound at the background, that is sound from our Nescafe ATM in the studio.
Nescafe ATM.
Yes.
Money will come from inside. Nescafe Gold. Nescafe Gold.
Charlie, it's amazing when your network cares about you so much that they do amazing things for you. You guessed it. Yes, I'm talking about the Vodafone Cash dropping all charges. Vodafone says now for sending cash, you don't have to pay any cash. It's free. Yes, you heard that right. So it costs nothing, absolutely nothing when you send money via Vodafone Cash to all networks. Just send any amount as many times as you want to any network and pay zero charges on the amount sent. So go ahead, make payments, show your love, make contributions, send money to all you want on via the Vodafone Cash to all networks for free. So all you have to do now is to dial *110# to send cash free for free. All right, ready? All right, so back to it. If you have any name you want to suggest, 0267 300 327 here on Hitz 103.9 FM. Right. Let's get into this one. We have Mickey Osei-Beko. He has a message. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, Joe. I heard there's been a creative arts debate and all of that. I wonder whether it was worth our time. Me, all that I'm trying to say is that our industry, the creative arts, all right, it's not supposed to be headed by political affiliates. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it's funny, how can they objectively know the state of the industry? Or, you know, they don't even have the objective mind to assess the state of the industry. All of them think they're doing their best. And of course, even if it's not going well or otherwise, you need to profess it in the interest of whatever political party that you are affiliated to. So me, the whole idea, I'm interested. What is it? Ghana Medical Association president. I can say, oh, and fair there, you will be crowd our Ghana Medical Association. A party where you say, on I say, and I say. Now you are not Ghana Medical Association president, no I share more party just say. No, I have a town, no party be yourself. Look at some medical professional, but you say. Creative as for the Amucha and Amunia, bro. We're funny people. It's a concept. Objective minds, our creative arts industry, you know, and as a council government, you know, on what we need. And your government to be, and as a check creative arts, you know, what we need and what to do at what times. We need to counsel the government of governance of what the creative arts needs. I mean, what we need to progress. Even we can create the awareness of a Juma. We ourselves, as creative arts people, we are not capable of telling the country governors, policymakers, of importance of Juma.
Interesting comments right there by Mickey Osei-Beko. We're going to get into that, but that's not going to be before we speak with Mr. James Abuaji. Right.
Yes. In fact, I actually made a mistake with Asog and Five Park. You know,
okay, so you were referring to
I was referring to Asog Born.
Yeah, because he's on the line to clarify.
Yes.
You know,
he actually called me on that. So thank you very much, James.
Yeah, but let's still say hi to James. Hi, Mr. James.
Hi, Mercury.
Thanks for joining us on the Daybreak Hit Show. You just heard Mr. Praise Chega clarify that. Is there anything you want to add?
All what I want to say is that Five Park, we do not have board, we have executives. and we are united as anything. We are working very hard to fix the industry. All what I will plead with industry players is we should rally behind the NFA. Even where we think we have divergent opinions, we should rather present our opinions in a very civilized manner that will not allow Ghanaians to, as they have always been thinking that the creative people are always confused. We are never confused. We know what we are doing.
Right.
So we want to throw our weight behind them.
Right. Thank you very much. Now, we've seen the whole circus, you know, the whole movie around the film village. And now the National Film Authority is calling on Ghanaians to suggest a name for the Ghana film industry. What is your take on that?
You see, we are now trying to put structures in place. I heard some people were talking about standards and quality. Yes, steps are being taken to address it because about 2 weeks ago, NFA convention of multi-choice Ghana, they are doing pitch series where 2 days workshop was organized for participants, and they are also working on local content. There are a whole lot of things that are being done to fix the industry. So if in the wisdom of the NFA, they think they have to come up with a name so that by the time all these things are put together, it will be synonymous. I don't have any problem. This shouldn't generate any confusion within the industry.
Right. Would appreciate if you could update us on the film village. Where are we now?
Okay. Right now, where we have reached is that the ministry doesn't want to take a decision because it is going to be PPP project. So they don't want to dwell on one particular place where they are able to select the private partner who will also choose another place. Well, so what they've done is, yes, all the 3 venues, they have accepted them, pending whoever is coming to partner with them. But in the meantime, because Kunsu, they have started something, there is a World Bank facility that has a component of improving tourism sites and some of these things. So they've been advised to make an application so that part of that fund could be released for them to upgrade whatever they have there. But that does not disqualify them in the final decision. So as we speak, no particular place has been chosen.
Right. So Kunsu, Setre, and what's the other place? Heman. Right. Where do you suggest this actually goes?
No, I cannot make my decision ahead of that of the ministry.
You are the president, and you definitely have.
I'm a filmmaker. My interest is having a village. It doesn't matter where it is sited. It doesn't matter. You get it? And we can as well have several of them.
Right,
because
so
if you go to America, it is not only Hood that has
there are suggestions that it should go to Setre. What is your take?
They are what? They are suggesting.
Yeah, that it should go to Setre.
That will largely depend on the choice of the ministry and the potential investors.
So if the ministry decided,
the ministry has not concluded because they want an input from the investors as well.
But if the ministry concluded on Setre,
no, they haven't. No, they haven't concluded on any location.
Right. All right. Thank you very much for joining us on the Daybreak show. We appreciate.
I'm in town. Maybe tomorrow I'll do my best to be in the studio.
Oh, that would be great. Okay. Kumi has a question for you.
Bro, I wanted to find out, looking at the way you were talking about Kunsu and the fact that almost everything has been put in place already, would you suggest that would have been an easy or a cool chop if we are to choose that place?
Good morning. I don't know the picture, the kind of village government and investors want to build. Otherwise, if you go to Kunsu, they have developed something that is more suitable for indigenous film production. So that's why I said I don't know the picture they have in mind. So all these things will be finally fine-tuned after the investors have visited the place and the suggestion they will bring on board. Because as me personally, as the president of FIPAC and a filmmaker, and representing all the filmmakers, our interest is to have film village, to have film studios. So we wouldn't mind where it is put. So I would not have a particular preference.
Right. Thanks very, very much for joining us right here on the Daybreak Hitz Show. And we hope to see you tomorrow, as you said.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be there.
All right. Let's take a listen one more time to Mickey Osei Beko, and then I'll get thoughts of my panelists.
Yeah, Joe. I heard there's been a creative arts debate and all of that. So I wonder whether it was worth our time. Me, all that I'm trying to say is that our industry, the creative arts, all right, it's not supposed to be headed by political affiliates. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it's funny, how can they objectively know the state of the industry? Or, you know, they don't even have the objective mind to assess the state of the industry. All of them think they're doing their best. And of course, even if it's not going well or otherwise, you need to profess it in the interest of whatever political party that you are affiliated to. So me, the whole idea, I'm interested. What is it? Ghana Medical Association president. I can say, oh, you will be crowd our Ghana Medical Association. A party where you say, on I say. Now you are not Ghana Medical Association president, no. No, I share more party to just say. No, I have a town. No, party be yourself. Look at a medical professional, but you say. Creative as for the Amunia, bro. We're funny people. Interesting, we are concepts. Objective minds. Our creative arts industry, you know, and as a council government, you know, on what we need. And your government to be, and as a check creative arts, you know, what we need and what to do at what times. Dabi. We need to counsel the government of governance of what the creative arts needs. I mean, what we need to progress. Even we can create the awareness of a Jumano. We ourselves, as creative arts people, we are not capable of telling the country governors, policymakers, of importance of Yejuma.
Voice of Mickey Osei Beko, who holds a view that creative arts industry is not supposed to be headed by political affiliates. Interestingly, his submission, he compared an authority to an association. I don't know what your take on this.
Okay, first of all, let me greet him, Mickey.
Right,
he be my body pal. You know, you my boss.
The way you they do,
yeah, guy. You see, he's had his stake. That is his view, and nobody can begrudge him, because at the end of the day, opinions are like noses. We've all got one.
The question is it possible?
You see, even the EC chair, if she is to vote, she will vote for somebody. So that should tell you that we all have preferences. You might not love it, but somebody might. But the whole thing is, you see, we cannot decide to leave the political space for people we call politicians. When you get into the political space, we have teachers, we have lawyers, we have doctors, we even had a beautician. She's still a member of parliament. You know, Kede MP, I must say. You know, we have all these people getting into politics. So what is wrong if somebody from the creative space also decides to get closer, so that technically they can also give their advice. Don't you see? We shouldn't forget that if you are closer, the level of acceptability and all these things play a role. If you are distant, if I go to Dawn right now and I need something from Dawn, or if I advise Dawn on something, the probability that Dawn might listen to me is higher than a stranger who comes from outside. So getting closer. But as to whether we get close and we are not influenced by our interest and our love for a political party, it's another thing altogether. But having creative as people getting close to the corridors of power and the various political parties, I don't see anything wrong with that. Because we need such people. In fact, I would love to have so many creative as people in parliament, so that when we pass in laws, you know, when we pass in laws, they from where they sit, they can also come in with their experiences. Yes, you can read, but having a feel of what goes on the ground plays a big role. Experience is the best teacher. So having a creative as person getting close to a political party or having an affiliation, to me, I don't see anything wrong with that. But as to whether that will have an influence on that person is a different thing altogether. And talking about people to man the creative space and whether they have a political affiliation or not, the question is, are they capable? Can they do it? Are they being influenced? These are the questions we should ask. He made a categorical statement because he feels that when they get close to political parties, it taints or it blurs their vision as to whether what they see is the truth or not. It's like somebody in love, as to whether what they are saying is politically biased or not.
Right.
It's a different thing altogether. So these are some of the... It's good that he's come out with this, but it looked as if he was a bit too harsh, one. And apart from that, it looked as if he was... I want to find the word for... I don't want to use frustrated. No, I don't want to.
It sounds like you've used it.
I don't want to use that word.
I don't want to.
I don't want to use that word. But you could feel.
I don't want to use frustrated. That's all about it.
Yeah, you could feel. You know, the person frustration in the voice. Because we are working so hard. You and I know we are working so hard. We all belong to the same space. We've been working so hard over the years, but it looks as if the society don't see the role. They don't see our importance in terms of the building of the nation. You know, and all this. Sometimes it hurts. It hurts. So I understand him the way he's talking, but we should debate on it and find out how best we can find a seeming, way out. We cannot just decide to stay out at all.
Right. Thank you very much, Kumima. Now, the Dawn, let's take it from this angle.
Yeah.
Let's use the Creative Arts Council, for example. Should government change? Do you think the current administration would be maintained?
That's a very good question. Should government change? I don't think so. Reason being that it hasn't yet been established in law yet. If it is, it will be difficult for you to take a state worker off his position. I don't know whether you are getting where I'm coming from. Like a chief director in a ministry, if he's employed and goes through the proper procedures.
It does happen every day.
You cannot.
It does happen every day.
You
and I know.
You can't take out the civil servant.
You can't take out the civil servant.
You can frustrate them out.
Transfer, do whatever. You cannot. With the
so you can frustrate them out based on political affiliation.
It will force you to go and leave.
No, it depends on the law.
The law makes it hard for you to, when you get to the chief director level, at that level, it's difficult. You have to be in that level until you go out. So if you take him from chief director, you can bring him down. That's the thing on the.
But you and I know we.
No, the political heads
from where not political heads from
internally. What usually happens is, let's say a minister comes and the minister comes with his own consultant, and the consultant does these works. Then you are probably sidelined. But under the circumstances, by law, the consultant cannot sign certain things that the chief director can sign. Look, the chief director can sign a whole agreement on behalf of the ministry, not even the minister. This issue, Ejapa, there was a whole conversation about why the chief director didn't sign and the deputy minister signed. Because the chief director is close to the powers to sign. So the chief director role will be powerful. You can always maybe You frustrate them. Politics are everywhere. Frustrate them more bread. Now it's okay to go.
Staff, yeah, then you go boy. But you know if you take them off,
or you go move on for maybe a finance ministry and take them go.
So when it's set into an authority or an agency now, going through, and the people have been appointed through basic rudiments, and they have their terms of preference, and they also have ways of exit, etc. Charlie, it will be difficult. It would be difficult for you to get the person out.
But you see, the problem. Okay, the problem lies with the fact that it's a process. We know the bill is in the process. Now you have the Creative Arts Council. There's work being done. Agency.
They're looking at an agency or an authority or something like that.
Right. So now, should the current administration be voted out of power? What it means is that this whole process,
it's likely once it's a political appointment, appointed by the president,
it goes down the drain.
Yes,
and we have to,
continue or start from where it goes.
Government is a continuum.
But Mekwe, what Mickey was talking about, personally, I feel he confused the issues a bit.
Okay,
for me,
right,
and he ended up sounding more concertish than the industry.
Oh, but that's his industry.
You feel like he was having fun.
No, but he's an entertainer.
True.
But he's in the entertainment industry.
I thought I was thinking
concertish. Because it looked like it have fun.
Yeah.
When it's serious.
Like when it started, he was so serious, and then out of the blues.
Don't you think it's because of the character he's played all these years?
You say he was in character. Yeah. He was in character with this one, not the Mickey. Mickey be serious guy.
He give me
You know, Mickey on beyond the screen. If he's out of character, he be serious guy.
So he started with the seriousness. All of a sudden, they came back. They got lost.
Then he started doing mommy, but don't know.
You see, there is a difference between a party appointing Sadiq to run their creative space and to advise them.
Right.
And if NDC does that on the party level, for me, they need that input to be able to refine their policies so that when they get to the state level, they will know the direction they are moving towards. So clearly, if a party decides to use Sadiq as their spokesperson for the creatives, you, Mickey, what is your problem about it? Because he was talking about the debate. He made reference to the debate. That's why I'm tackling it from this angle.
It shows me and Max are on a debate.
Yes. If he made reference to a debate, then clearly he's lost it. Because the debate was supposed to bring out ideas from two sides as to who can take us on a better path. That was the whole reason for the debate.
Yes.
Probably he's looking at Marco Kwekumante's position and the fact that he was the one representing or speaking. But was he representing MPP or he was speaking as the Creative Arts President interim? That's also another question we have to ask.
That line must be drawn.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know. Mark should tell us.
There's nothing even wrong if he's representing MPP.
Yes, because of course they appointed him, of course. So I don't know whether that is what was getting to him. Because for me, it was only Mark that was in that box, not Sadiq or any other person close to government. And as you were saying, that it would be difficult to draw the lines between your party affiliation and your personal.
No, but he was talking about close to or having affiliation with political parties.
That means to be Mark he was talking about. He was talking about recruitment.
But
he talked about the debate.
I'm not a political I'm not a state appointee.
Thank you.
I don't work in the government.
So I don't see where it tackles that Sadiq from. It will tackle Mark Okukumante more. It was like this speech was directed at Okukumante. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting a bit confused as to what he wanted to actually put out. Is it that we should try as much as possible not to involve people who have strong party affiliations in the running of the institutions? Is that what he was trying to say? And that one is impossible.
It's impossible.
Because the fact that I call Hagler, there's some bonding that will come between Hagler and I. The fact that my friend Hagler said, "Be mommy." Hagler will also want to see to my interest. It's natural. Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be very difficult. But there's that.
But does that element not hurt the system? That element, does it not hurt the system? I guess that's where he's coming from.
Yes,
Hagler is your guy.
Yeah, Mercury, unfortunately, it's the winner takes it all issue. And that
until you fix that.
Until you fix that, that's what is going to happen.
Look, as we talk now, last time we were having a conversation with one security couple about, vigilantism and all these kind of things. You go arrest somebody because that person, we're talking about Odododio, where somebody was seen in broad daylight wielding a gun and shooting in the midst of plenty. And that person is still moving around.
Which is a crime.
That person is still moving around.
I remember we got to know about the gun issue in the crowd, the Stoneboy issue.
You don't want
people are shooting it and they are moving.
Yes. Stoneboy.
So they don't shoot in the air. They fire the people.
Hey,
from the video.
Meanwhile, Stoneboy and Shatawale,
they are still in court.
They are still in court, but this person is still walking around.
What's like?
Because we are talking about two big political parties. If you go and arrest the person, and the party he belongs to decides to rise, your work will be at stake. So because
the police
the IGP
they fear both parties.
is appointed by president of the day,
sitting president.
So it affects. It's a chain. It affects almost everything, even though it is not right. But are we willing to change? That is another thing. Also.
Are we willing to change? I guess some will say yes, others will say, well, we wish. A big thank you to Vodafone, TriSteel Roofing Company Limited, Franco Trading, Phone, Papa Fee, and Betway for the love of the game. You on to the Daybreak Hitz Show. My name is Mercury Quay, sitting in for Andy Dosty. Discussion coming up on Crab YouTube. But before that, Sadiq will tell us what his take on this whole thing is. Sadiq, what's your take on it?
I mean, like, when you listen to the video, you don't know whether at the point Mickey was being so serious or he was having fun. But, but I mean, I thought that he was having fun.
He was serious.
Well, but his personal opinion, and he's dropped certain things in there. At a certain level, he mistook or he turned it around. The Ghana Medical Association, for instance, is a professional welfare group. At a certain level as well, I think they also have. Okay, no, they are not the Ghana Medical and Dental Care. So there's a professional welfare group, just like Musica, just like all of that. And when you look at all these ones, it's the people, the professionals that run it. So Ghana Medical Association, Musica, Advertising Association of Ghana, IPR, Association for Ghana Industries. These are all different from state organizations. And like Don is saying, the state organizations and in the way our politics are is such that a lot of it must come with appointment from the appointing authority here is often the president or other ministers. So they are the ones that are in charge. And again, once they are in charge, it behoves on them to appoint people they trust, people that can stick to their overarching plan, and people they can really work with. Because it comes with time. People they've worked with over time within the parties, building the plans and all of those things, And so, as far as that is concerned, you can't do much about it. You can't do much about it. However, if you yourself, you are interested in impacting national affairs or impacting your industry from that, nothing stops you as well from joining the political parties to enhance that thinking that would help them enable your industry. So really looking at it and saying, people like Mark, for instance, shouldn't be appointed is neither here nor there, because the questions you need to ask is, are these people experienced? Did you have the proper knowledge base? Did you have the insight to be able to run it? Yes, they do. Then you look at the second part. What the debate was meant to do was, as it were, create an opportunity for both parties or the different parties to really tell you, this is the problems they've diagnosed with your industry and this is how they are looking to fix it. It is for you as well to sit down. You are supposed to have been there as well to poke holes and say, well, we don't like this, we like this. There were people representing various different organizations that came there that sort of added up to the quality of the discussion that was had. And for the first time, from the feedback I had, people that didn't think or didn't know how the industry were, they understood it. So within the context of that, if tomorrow, for instance, my party comes to power and I'm as part of the team that put together what you think is a brilliant part of the manifesto that speaks to the aspirations and needs of industry, and they say, Anchor X or Sadiq, this particular space, go and run it. Why not? That's the point. The question you need to ask is Anchor X or Sadiq or Ola or any of the people involved experience, have the requisite insight and everything to do? Hell yeah, they do. They do. I mean, even me, I'm the youngest of them, but I've been here from 2004 till now. Worked differently and headed organizations and done things. So if you look at it and say, okay, even at 35 with all this experience and everything, you need to be able to look at it and say, okay, maybe Sadiq is not experienced to run this, or Sadiq doesn't know this, Sadiq doesn't know that. But if we have been with the party, worked with the various different units of the parties to build this, and there's a part of it as well that you don't understand. Mark always says that governance is different, or he keeps saying it, because yes, governance is different. If you don't understand the party system and how to influence certain things done in your favor, you can be objective as whoever. Let them come and put you there. You will not function. What makes you think that you function because you are sitting out there and you're professional? Ask. There's been some brilliant professionals that have ended up in state organizations that have not been able to do anything. Yeah. Why? Because a person doesn't have the requisite clout within the party to be able to directly go to the Ministry of Finance to say, yes, to make things happen. Look, the agric minister is the president's friend. He has the clout. He's his contemporary. Within the party, he has the clout to ensure that things are done faster. Osafo, he has the clout, senior minister, to turn things around. It is governance. If you don't have the clout, you cannot, yes. But Mark has the clout, not only because he's an experienced industry professional, but he has the clout because he's been with the party. We know he's been with the party from 2008 till now. So point is that Mark, it's easier for Mark to enter into a conversation with, say, the finance minister, and he'll be welcome because, he's one of our own. Yeah. It's easier for him to go to the minister for their sector. It's easier for him to engage conversations with Akwesi Agyeman or Kojo Entry. It's easier for them to close their ranks and do certain things to influence or ensure that things happen faster. But if you are coming from outside and a professional, how do you even go? There are roadblocks. You think it's easier to go to the presidency and meet the president because you're a state appointee? Go and ask. It is not easier. Somebody would have the conversation with the president at home. Yeah. It is because of the party system and how they bond. So the advice to Mickey and Co is that if we are, Mickey is an experienced person. Mickey, brilliant. I love admired for him. I think that he's paid his dues. If he really wants to be able to impact his industry in this particular way, it's two things. Either you stay in your private capacity and hope that the states provide you the necessary enabling environment to do your part, or if you want to let it happen from a state side, join the party system. You can join the MPP, you can join the NDC, you can join the CPP, you can join the PPP, so that you can shape up their mindset relative to your industry. But this idea of I'm going to carry this objective and then who tell you say these objective people are more qualified than some of the party people? And it's usual. The legal, when you go to parliament, the legal and constitutional committee is run by lawyers that belong to the both parties. It's the same thing. So, and you look at it, Dr. Kobo is a doctor, he's the deputy minister of health.
I want you to go for a Nigerian to run it.
You want to go for a Nigerian to run it. And then the finance minister is a finance professional that is there. His two deputies are all finance professionals that are put there. Yeah. Beyond that, go to the other areas. These are people that also come with it with a certain body of work and experience to run it. If you're not raising points about the experience, like I said, if you want to raise issues about Mark's experience, bring it on, let's have a conversation. But if you say that he's experienced, he's insightful, he's the guy, he's been there, done it all and everything, why not him?
And the thing is, it's about government policies, and you need people who understand the policy in order to push it to the logical conclusion that you desire.
Sometimes we also
because if you don't understand the dream, vision, it'll be difficult.
Sometimes you also forget that every government has 4-year duration. Yeah. So you need people who can work with you faster. Yes. So that based on your work, you can be re-elected. So if you bring people who are objective, quote and unquote, and they don't understand your overall strategy and your goal.
And the overall strategy starts from the manifesto time. So when you look, like, for you to gauge what will be your overall strategy, you have, like, even when we sat down, beyond our manifesto itself, we've broken it down to first 100 days, what do you do to the creative industry when you win power? First 200 days, what do you do? First 300 days, what do you do? Who are the necessary people that you have an idea will be in certain places that what started say and have alignment already, so that immediately you come in, or you can move in a certain way.
Right. There's an interesting message coming in from Enoch Nana Apia. It says, "Good morning, honorables. I don't know how you guys understood the whole thing, and you are branding him as a joke. It's like Uncle Rex."
Oh no, nobody said it was a joke.
Yeah, nobody said.
They said he was having fun. I mean, these people sometimes.
It's like Uncle Rex cheering Gamro, wearing a party shirt. Institutions like this shouldn't be controlled by a government or a party.
So the other part of it is that if you check, all these organizations have processes and structures in the ways they do things. There's a board. When you look at it, for instance, like that's why I said there are two different things. GAMRO are different organizations from the state organizations. But when you even look at GAMRO, there's a board. He's but one person among a board of other people. Kwesianes, they sit on the board. Diana Hobson is on the board. Bandex is on the board.
Yeah.
What's it called? Obo is on the board. TikTok is on the GAMRO board. And so decision making,
it comes back to what you said. Same thing. Clouds. It comes
and
back.
Even the structures. There are structures. All these people on the board. One person cannot take the organization for us. But if the organization thinks that okay, by virtue of what he's doing is harming the organization, there is a remedy in terms of how they can ensure that he puts it down and move.
You see, that was what I was.
So that's what I'm saying. That you don't.
What are the rules? What are the rules? Every company has their own rule. As we sit here in multimedia, there are things that when you work with multimedia, you cannot do.
Okay, in GAMRO constitution, it's a grey area, probably.
There's no
silent on that.
It's silent on that.
So then the person has the leeway to do whatever they want to do.
If it wasn't silent on that, it would have said that if you are a president, don't do
affiliate.
So as long as there is no law binding that person,
you can't stop the person.
Why do you?
And I mean, and again, we're saying that because of how towards the end, that's why we thought that he was having fun. But we are dealing with the things that he's raised. I mean, he's making the point that go and appoint objective persons. Who determines who the objective person is? It's relative.
Yeah, it's relative. Objective is relative.
So you determine, you're not even looking at objective, you're looking at professional and experienced people that you can qualify. Yes, that you can qualify. You can put requirements there to qualify somebody as experienced and insightful individuals to do it. And if they are coming from the parties, why not? So if you are sitting out there and you want to be able to, it's not everybody that wants to be in politics or frontline politics. Right. Some people want to inform it for the private sector. Mickey's doing his bid as somebody that owns a productions company. He's doing advertising. He's producing his content and all of that. Does he want to stay there? Or as an experienced person, Mickey should by now also be at the forefront of driving some of this agenda for many of the political parties. It could be NDC, it could be MPP. He's been a politician before, in fact. He was, I think, a former assemblyman or something. Yeah. So he has that. I think that we need him. Media, we need them for NDC.
Thanks very much, Sadiq. All right, so this one from Roxin Kumi says, Hitz FM. It's loud inside Obofo Boutique in Ashaiman Market. Thanks for tuning in to 103.9 FM. This one from Bless Kaba says, good morning, Mercury Quaid. The name is not what to debate about at this moment. What we need right now is infrastructure. We already have Gollywood, but it hasn't taken us anywhere. They should find a way of making the industry attractive, and this name thing, I guess. And Eagle Eye says the film industry lacks structure, and the NFA's focus is a name. Only 3 countries have a name for their film industry. That's the US, India, and Nigeria. The UK, France, Kenya, Burkina Faso, China, etc. don't have that. I don't think that should be the focus.
Twitter, what is structure? What is the structure that they lack? Let's have a conversation.
Let's get it on. All right, so stay on. Let's take these messages.
Franco Trading Enterprise still phone Papa Fie, Samsung near, Nokia near, iPhone near, say our printers, mobile phone, accessories. Franco Trading Enterprise offer our Nwani TV, digital television set, this satellite, any ultra panels, and Bomuma.
Franco Trading Enterprise, Facebook, Sauko Franco Trading Enterprise page. Nasa likes number 100,000. Anyone munija. Samsung at www.francotrading.com. Android app, Franco Trading, Instagram, at Franco Trading. Nani pabadi for dosunti. Franco, the Momo Pay Franco number 189480.
Your branches on the Bebre Wagana baby, Nemum, head office on the Twaya Dabraka, opposite Roxy Cinema.
Tema, Franco will Community 1, One Waterworks in the Dianime, Cycle, opposite Odor Rise, Madina, 100 meters away from the police station. Kaswa, Franco, opposite Kaswa Polyclinic.
And our friend numbers in Nani and Chauntum 0246 422 338 and at 0546 133 188. Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phone Papa Fie. And you're not going.
55, 78, 58, 70. Hey, Charlie. My network is really killing me. I have to pay my uncle's workers via mobile money, but the charges alone, it's about 380 cedis. Charges alone just to send money? That's $10 of cement already, my guy. Listen, bro, you can save money on charges if you move to Vodafone Cash now. Vodafone Cash? But my network is very... Sending money on that your network, you pay. Sending money on your network to other networks, you pay. But guess what? Sending money on Vodafone Cash is free. Sending money on Vodafone Cash to all other networks is also absolutely free. No charges at all on Vodafone Cash. So tell me, what are you still doing on that your network? Massa, look sharp, then move to Vodafone Cash. Hey, make a change the SIM right now. Yeah, sending money on Vodafone Cash to all other networks is now absolutely free. Send unlimited amounts of money as many times as you like for free. Just dial *110# now to send money.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Hello, sweetheart. Tell me whatever you want. I will take you to Melcom and buy for you.
Oh, you are so late, Massa. I also received the SMS and I'm even planning going shopping now. So if you are ready, let's go, baby.
Melcom is back again with the hot Black Friday deals in this month of November.
Yeah! Shop at Melcom for your hot Black Friday deals every day in the month of November.
Ranging from supermarkets,
household,
furniture,
groceries,
electronics. In fact, there are thousands of these hot deals in any Melcom shop nationwide.
Melcom Black Friday. It's simply unbeatable.
But remember,
terms and conditions apply.
Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Tri-Steel Roofing Company Limited. Eyadwumako atwa chance papa e wo Ghana ha. Na den samdei ebrewo. Tri-Steel say eni jebre mu yen chance papa yetwa eye secular wave, self-floor tiles, IDT, IBR, and transparent fiber sheets. And then chance nyina mu asante hene. Color Supreme Plus 1 no. Say over beto ye ko boso ma free of charge. Ana wo nia wo carpenter ni dadade a. Ene wo ton chance na eso bone ka ni nyina no. Ye betua e dia ma. E ban chance dia ye ni tipen. Free numbers ni sesi a 0302 850-802 0302-850-802. Yam Krabatane Dosun, Bora Tracing Krabatabi Belvia. Say Sasabi Junction, Dodo Wakansu, Yanyano Kwansu, Ewa Kaswa, Congo Villa, and Necron Filling Station, give you Ewa Fanko, and I win Bakaswa Kwansu, Forestry Checkpoint of Bujumburam. Your main office no Ewa My 11 Cemetery, Shanim Honomoa, and Krakaswa Kwansu. Tri-Steel Roofing Company Limited, number one choice.
Stun boy, man a boss. I wonder, I'm man a boss. Boss it up, boss it up. Me a go boss it up, boss it up, boss it up. Yeah, we never run, because you know we are the real big boss. Never rush, we never crush. Because you know we are the real big boss. We conquer this town, break every numb. Boss bring the energy you can't feel now. Got to know we are the big boss. Boss it up, boss it up. Me I go boss it up. I am the Beam Nation president, the Beam Boss. Grab a bottle of Big Boss energy drink and boss it up.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Another quality product from Bell Aqua. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended to persons under the age of 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and persons sensitive to caffeine.
Accidents do happen. It could be a motor accident, a sudden heart attack, or even a stroke, or any other health emergency. The first steps you take are very critical. Should you be involved in or witness an accident, call 112 for the fastest ambulance response. With over 300 well-equipped ambulances all over Ghana, you are assured of the fastest response to your emergency calls. Call 112 during critical health emergencies and save your life and that of your family and loved ones. 112, help will come. 112, we are safe. Avoid prank calls as they can lead to loss of life of persons in actual need of help. Be a responsible citizen.
Daybreak Hits. Daybreak Hits.
You're on a Daybreak Hit Show, Hit 103.9 FM. Now, your first choice for quality and affordable color roofing sheets is Troy Steel. Now, they have standard sheets and long span roofing sheets, which include circular wave, self-lock, tiles, IDT, IBR, transparent fiber sheets, alu-zinc, aluminum, galvanized steel, and fiberglass use are in production. So, their team of highly skilled estimators offer you free and quick estimates and technical support. They are located at Mile 11 Cemetery, opposite Mile 11 Cemetery of the Accra Kaswa Road, New Branch, Kumasi, near Yaz. Right, so call them on 0302 850 802 in Kumasi, 0322 498-177. Troy Steel, your number one choice in roofing. All right, and congratulations to Kwame Eugene. Great concert on Friday, the Heroes concert. And Melcom Black Friday is on. Melcom is back again with the hot Black Friday deals in this month of November. Shop at Melcom for hot Black Friday deals every day this month of November. From supermarkets, household, furniture, groceries, electronics, and many more. In fact, there are thousands of these hot deals in Melcom shop nationwide. Melcom Black Friday is simply unbeatable. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops. All right, so make sure you stick with Betway. We're all big football fans, but there are some other sports that I'm personally a fan of, like tennis, basketball, like cycling. Now, luckily, Betway Mobile and online sports betting has introduced sports, casino games, bet games, and more on their platform for us to bet on. From football to roulette, esports, and horse racing, now we can bet. Win and get paid instantly via mobile money or EFT to your bank. Visit www.betway.com.gh to play today. Remember to bet responsibly. No under 18. Betway, for the love of the game. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. All right, so a big thank you for being here. And remember, the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is done. We want to say congratulations to Joy News. Of course, thank you to the Dawn. Thanks to Sadiq for joining us here on the big show. Thanks you to Mr. Hagler, my producer, of course, to Nana Kwame, Fly Nemo Boy, and my man Big
DJ Black will talk, say, hey, you be disciplined, you close on time.
We try. Mr. Hagler, a big thank you to you. Mercury Quay is my name. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook at Mercury Quay. Time to say goodbye. Thanks for being here.
This is Hitz.